Sure. Well, I'm going to let Alysia start because
Okay.
the idea and the impetus for the story all came from a personal experience she had. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I lost my dad incredibly quickly. He had cancer, and we lost him in about 10 days in his early 50s, and it was phenomenally shocking and surprising. And that experience made me want to reach out and help other people who are going through a grief experience. And specifically, I find that in our incredibly fast world of speed and Blackberries and trying to do everything as quickly and most efficiently as possible, that grief and feelings don't really fall into that model. And I wanted to create a way to talk about that, and really art and film is the only way I know how to do that. So I talked to Jessica and immediately was like, okay, I have a director, and found Katie, our co-producer, and we all found a writer together, and that's how it all sort of came to be.
But you see, the thing that people always say, if you have a loss, a tragic loss, certainly is, you know, in your case it was probably horrific because of, you know, his youth and the fact that, you know, it happened so suddenly. But they always say, oh, time heals. And time is this, you know, the continuum of time, the expanse of time, doesn't really, the speed doesn't factor in.
I love that you said that, because everyone does say that, and it's my experience and my truth that time changes grief, but it doesn't stop grief. And that, you know, for example, my dad died over 5 years ago now, and today, the last couple days, I've been profoundly happy and excited about this project, and I'm a new mom, and my daughter is amazing, and I'm so happy. And there are days when I can be laughing hysterically, and in the next second crying hysterically, because that joy brings up the missing of him in a very deep place. And that's really what I wanted to talk about, was that time does heal and it doesn't heal. And that,
Well, what gives people comfort during the grieving like, for instance, some people take consolation in the fact of, you know, they go to the religious side or the spiritual side, or they see it as a reward or a continuum. You know, you're born, you live, you die, and, you know, go into the next energy level or whatever. Where does it fit in? How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we don't necessarily go towards the religious side of things, but there's certainly a spiritual element to the film and a fantasy element where our lead character is almost trying to escape all of the feelings that she's having and all of the fear and sadness. And then you had a question, just, you know, what do you do? How do you get through it? And you know, we'll let people see the film and make their own sort of interpretations, but one thing that we sort of found was that if you just sort of stayed present in the moment, tried to be with the person who you were, you know, losing, or if it's after someone's death, really spending time with the people who meant so much to that person, and just not try and escape the sadness, but just breathe through it, live through it, take each moment as it comes.
That makes sense. The other thing is, since it is a short, it begs the question, do you sort of envision this as a feature-length motion picture? Is it an audition piece for a feature?
I don't see it as part of a feature necessarily, but Katie, Rosen, and Allie and I have talked at length about ways that this film can sort of live on, and we sort of see it as part of the grief project. And this specific film we intend on, after we screen it at festivals, bringing it to hospices and hospitals and other grief programs so that it could potentially be used as some sort of just like a counseling tool or a way to sort of start discussion. And
exactly, that's our goal, is that we're working with grief counselors now to create a discussion guide that goes with it, so that it will be sort of an hour-long or an hour-and-a-half-long program where people watch the film and then are able to talk about it. And one of the goals of that was that sometimes we're able to talk about art in a way that we're not able to talk about our own personal feelings.
Well, I saw